Hey, I'm Duke on Twitch. If you want to support the channel and greensunzenith.com, you can find my Patreon, merch store, and singles store where you can buy singles through TCG Player or Card Hoarder in the video description. If you want to get in contact, you can also find all that info in the description below for things like donation deck lists or just wanting to reach out. Alright, let's get right into it. Hey, welcome back to Dukes on Twitch. Back today with Naya Depths. This list is a little bit different to what we usually see on the channel, taking inspiration from Dan Neely's list with a copy of Urza's Saga and a Shadow Spear, which I do think really help in some of the creature-based matchups. Obviously Saga as well against some of the more control-ish versions of decks we're seeing in Legacy right now is really strong. Being able to create that advantage of creating tokens that your opponent is going to have to deal with, and yeah, getting kind of that virtual card advantage of our opponent spending actual cards on tokens, which is a great place to be in. I've also moved towards Mindbreak Trap in the board and a third Force of Vigor, just for a lot of the combo decks that are coming up online as of recent, and really making sure that the main deck is pretty well suited for a lot of what we're going to see in some of the fair decks. We're going to have a pretty good matchup there, but for the combo decks, we want to have some really good turn 0, turn 1 plays. Things like Surgical, Mindbreak Trap, Force of Vigor for free spells, and then Deafening Silence, Pyroblasts, Collector Ouphe, obviously quite good as well against an array of decks right now. Some deck building considerations for the Saga have included running the full 4 crop rotation, the full 4 Mox Diamond, but no additional artifacts other than Shadow Spear and other than Mox. And the big reason for that is that I think that Shadow Spear actually does do a lot in regards to Merit Lage. It allows you to get through blockers, obviously with Trample, and it does help with some other issues the deck might have, whereas we don't really need Needle, we don't really need a Spell Bomb effect or any other sort of graveyard hate. So I think just having like the small package of Saga is really nice. The one tip I will give players with Urza's Saga is that it does get a additional counter at the beginning of your main phase 1. So if you are playing Saga, definitely think about everything at the end of your draw step, because if you crop rotate or Knight of the Reliquary into a Saga in your draw step, once you have all information, the Saga comes in, it gets a counter, and then in your first main phase, it'll get a second counter. So it's kind of a way to speed it up a full turn, which means you'll be able to create a token that turn, or in your opponent's turn, and the following turn you'll be able to search for something like Shadow Spear or Mox Diamond. You can also do the same thing with Reclaimer, just be wary that the Saga comes in tapped, so you won't be able to use it straight away to make a token. But a little nice thing to think about, especially if you are playing more targets with Saga and you want to get towards a Pithy Needle one turn earlier, or something like your Soul Guide Lantern. That can be a really nice tip just to know how to take advantage of Saga to its full effect. But that's pretty much it. The one thing that I don't have is main deck artifact hate or enchantment hate. We aren't running Outland Liberator, Prismatic Ending, Haywire Might, anything like that. And that's me just saying, hey, if you have something that I really care about, you got me. Thankfully with Minsc and Boo, we don't really care about Ensnaring Bridge because we can just fling the creature at their face. Blood Moon, a little bit different, as even though we can play under a Blood Moon, maybe get a Depths into play and then try to remove it, we obviously can't. But post-board, we have those Force of Vigors and some other things that hopefully should be okay. Ravenous Panda, welcome. And Jezera, hopefully I said that okay. happy weekend. Hope you're both well. Let's get into this and play some depths. Playing a league with play points. Hello to everyone on YouTube. Hope you're having a great weekend or week, depending on when this goes live. If you're not already subbed, definitely consider subbing. Clicking that button just down here. There's been a lot of Abzan depths online recently, and for good reason. I think that Orcish is obviously just really well positioned for what it is. Let's make sure this is all square. But I really like this deck as well. This is a pretty interesting one. We do just have a natural turn 4 combo. We don't have any green mana at the moment. We do have Endurance online, but a hand that I am not willing to keep. Really want to have that green source. If this was a fetch land, this would be a pretty great hand. If this was something like a Yavimaya, I'll probably keep this as well, but with this, we're not really casting our spells or doing anything great, so pretty happy to mulligan this. Pretty good. We have the Steppe, which is great in the deck. We have fetch land for Reclaimer into turn 2 Flagstones, and then hopefully do Reclaimer shenanigans. We have Wasteland for interaction, Swords for interaction, one piece of the combo, so I'm pretty happy with this 6. So we'll keep this, bottom the Steppe. Not too sure up against, and I think in the blind I'm happy just to go for a Savannah, because this also opens up the line of just going next turn, Reclaim off the top and Swords, or even Swords and Wasteland. A few things that make it really nice to have that Savannah in play. Force of Will. So pitching a Brainstorm. Obviously our opponent does not have some sort of removal in hand just yet, which is pretty interesting. They chose to shuffle their library very quickly, which makes me think they're looking for extra land drops. So what I really want here is an additional threat. We don't have that, but what we can do is start working towards the combo, and we'll play the stage here, because what this opens up is next turn if we draw into crop rotation, that doesn't work. We draw into depths. Yeah, we could wait a turn. Could have played like the Flagstones or the Wasteland, but I'm pretty happy just to show this. Might even make our opponents think we have a crop rotation, and we're happy to play the stage out as like a just in case, but interesting. Swamp Island, Ponder Force, Scalding Tarn, and Brainstorm. I'm going to assume this is like a just a straight blue-black kind of... Well, that's interesting. Their Shadow style list, but I have seen players skimp on the island before. I think here I'm just happy to play the Flagstones and just play out the Knight as a 3/3. They haven't played a red source yet, so we can't really play around Bolt here. It's going to survive as well, which is pretty huge. Okay. Bowmasters is more than fine. Thankfully, this deck doesn't really care about Bowmaster, other than Sylvan Library. It does actually impact our ability to Minsk, because they can ping the Minskin, or the Boo token. Honestly happy just to play the Plains and pass. They could have a Sheoldred's Edict or a Brazen Borrower in the main deck to deal with the 2020. I could also play the Wasteland, because then if they play their own Wasteland, we can Wasteland their Wasteland, see what they Wasteland off ours, and then most likely sacrifice it or just go for the combo then. And yeah, like that's a pretty great showing of how Naya is positioned right now against Orcish Bowmaster. We don't really care about it. Even Reclaimer is a 1/2. And obviously our opponent just didn't draw into removal for the 2020, which also shows me a bit about this player. If they don't concede to the combo, they obviously have something in hand. So if we get to this stage again, potentially if we don't get a concession from our opponent, that means they have something, which is, yeah, worth taking away from this game. What do we like? What do we not like? Honestly, not too much. We did see blue, so I do like the blasts. We did see the Bowmasters, but are they enough to warrant getting rid of libraries? I wouldn't mind it. Typically, this style of deck that we're up against is pretty quick. I could see something like the Karakas and libraries coming out. 28 lands is still more than fine, especially with the 4 Moxen. Safekeeper, typically quite good against the bounce effects, but if they're on something like Sheoldred's Edict, then that gets around it because it is a creature token that they can make a sack, which is actually where Saga comes in handy, because it also puts extra tokens on the field. So it kind of gives us a free sack outlet to Sheoldred's Edict, which is pretty nice. I'm going to assume they are a Murktide deck, so I will keep the Bog. Obviously the blast effects are great, so it might just be that change. The Endurance is also pretty interesting, even just as a 3/4 body, but the only thought is probably crop against a blue deck. We aren't looking to fully turbo them, so I probably wouldn't mind something like the extra Endurance for 1 copy of crop rotation. I think that's pretty good. This is a pretty nice hand. So we have an early Mox to hold up Blast, pitching the second Yav. We then have one piece of the combo in stage. We also just have a turn 3 Minsk or a turn 4 Minsk with backup of Pyroblast. So pretty happy to keep this. Basic Island Pass. Okay. I do want to play around days to some extent. So I think here we're going to play Yav. Yeah, play the Yav. Play the Mox. Pitch the other Yav and then just pass back. No turn 1 play. Huh. And most likely holding up another Orcish Bowmaster here. Wasteland is ineffective right now. I don't mind just playing the stage. This also could indicate that we have crop rotation. No, we actually can't crop into depths here anyway, because we'd have to get rid of the Yavimaya. And then the depths comes into play and we wouldn't be able to tap the depths of mana. So small thing, but worth considering. Underground Sea. Okay. Here I'm happy just to copy the swamp. And then I'm not in a rush here. I don't mind Wasteland on the Underground Sea. What does that accomplish? It does turn off something like a Dolty Voidwalker. Double blue isn't too relevant because I assume they take out Force of Negation. So I think I'm pretty happy just to pass here and Wasteland and upkeep. Still nothing. Turn 4 and there hasn't been a spell. Mox Diamond is the only spell that's been cast. They're also on red. Okay. Surely this isn't a Hooligan's Command. Oh, it is. Okay. Sure. Safekeeper is pretty nice. Keep it pro black in case of snuff out. And then just pass back. Wow. That's going to be fine. Because we do get to swords. I did not expect these cards after the first match. A red source is what we need off the top. It's not a red source. Let's start with sword. Okay. Play the Saga. Yes. I was going to say I should have attacked with the Safekeeper and then got a basic mountain off the Undercity, but of course we aren't playing basic mountain, so I think here we will just get the plains because we have the Yavimaya. I'm also going to copy the Badlands to get a red source. Fable's going to be okay. That's fine. I'm going to assume they are not a... Swell. Look, Ramunap's pretty good here because we get to get back Wasteland the same turn. Let's put the stage on the bottom, but keep the Ramunap. Or we could play the Saga. Or we could just go for Saga value. I think here I actually really like taking them off double black. Doesn't matter, that's the question. I guess we can take them off double blue, but they get the treasure token from the goblin, but it does attack into a Ramunap. Honestly, I don't mind just getting value, or trying to get value off the Saga here. But... So what are our options? We have Minsk, tick up, make a 4/4, and then just pass back. We can also do that around... We can't do that around a blue counterspell like a Force of Will because we need double red here. Which is potentially why we play the Ramunap this turn. For 3 mana, get back Wasteland, Wasteland them, hold up Blast, and then the following turn we still have 4 mana, float 1 with the Saga, which can cast the Minsk, and then we can also get back... We can't get back a red source. I guess we could actually get back a Mox. We can get a Mox off the Saga to pitch the plains. Now that's interesting. I like that. Go for the blue. Wow, they don't discard. Bolt. Bolt's pretty good. Bolt will give them back the initiative. Which, to be fair, I guess the only play there was Minsk, which could have potentially kept the Goblin Shaman from attacking, but let's see what happens here. Draw Flagstones. I am just going to float. Get a Mox. Pitch the Plains. Play Minsk. Oh, hopefully they don't have Orcish. That would be pretty good here. K command. Oof. Ah, maybe that's a reason why I should have used this as the red source instead of the land. Yeah. That is a good take. Damn, now we lose the Minsk as well. Thankfully, I will say that a 2020 is still pretty good off the top, and we have a lot of live draws for it. But we do want to try to get the initiative pretty quickly. So this is more like a Grixis deck than a blue-black deck. Huh. They still have 2 cards, which is a little bit worrying, but I think the only hit here is really Knight of the Reliquary, because it's large enough to get through the Goblin. Yeah, that Mox Diamond play was pretty huge, not being able to hold up the blast. Didn't really matter because of the ponder, but just thinking out loud, especially one to have seen Kolaghan's Command already, I think it's worth that. Especially seeing we haven't seen Wasteland. I'm going to concede there because of the 4/4, and then with the traps, we won't get there. Okay. I think now that we know what we're up against, I don't mind the Sylvan Libraries. I could also see skimping on a Mox. Ramunap Minsk. Green Suns. Knights are good. Could be just Safekeeper, I think. Not really wanting to play that game. Like, they have Petty Theft, but that's fine. This is a 1-lander with a Mox. We are mulliganing this. Okay, this is better. I'm going to keep this and bottom the Minsk, and just keep a very low to the ground hand. Opponent goes to 6 as well. Wow, 4 straight away. That makes me think they don't have removal in hand, which is a great sign for this other Reclaimer. Oh, that's also really nice, because now we get to hold up the blast effect. Also, being Grixis in a deck like this, we don't have to worry about days, which is really nice. Fetched for a black. Interesting. So they forced the first one, so they must have drawn the bolt off the top. But hey, now we just have land drop, hold up sword, or elemental blast. Wasteland's pretty good. We can hide that for now. No turn 3 play. Huh. Here, let's just copy the Savannah to have double green. for endurance. Okay. Here, I'm probably happy just to go for Reclaimer, holding up both Sword and Red Elemental Blast. Double fetch. I wonder if they have a opposition agent. That's fine. Pretty good. We will play this. I don't want to get Dryad Arbor just because of I want to be able to play Minsk around days, and I don't want to be susceptible to Orcish Bowmasters. Okay, Endurance is pretty nice. They don't have a double blue for Murktide if they are playing Murktide. So here I'm pretty happy just to pass back. Saruman's Ransom, okay. So for those of you who are unaware, Sauron's Ransom, apologies. Choose an opponent, they look at the top 4 cards of your library and separate them into a face down pile and a face up pile. Put one pile into your hand and the other into your graveyard. The ring tempts you. Honestly, I'm gonna give that the face up pile. Because I kind of want them to take this one. Okay, they didn't. But that's not too bad. We can still fetch for Dryad Arbor and then have Endurance open. Chose to not shuffle. I'm actually going to choose myself. I kind of want those creatures back. Don't draw Dryad Arbor. That's pretty good. Get back Bowmaster. This is actually tough because we know about this Sheoldred's Edict. So potentially here I just want to crop into Bojuka Bog. Oh, actually, we can actually get Saga here. Yes, Saga's a great get. So what do I want to do? Probably just the Savannah. Could also fetch a Forest, but they are getting basics, which is... Maybe they're just playing around Wasteland. I don't think they're a Blood Moon deck, but they have a mana base to definitely support Blood Moon. I mean, with double Island and a Swamp, they can cast pretty much everything. So I think we will just get rid of the Savannah here. Get that Saga. It's going to trigger. I can't copy it as well and activate it. So let's just go like this. I mean, they did get back the Orcish Bowmaster, so the first construct will die, but we will be able to get a second one. And a Shadow Spear. Potentially even copy the Saga. No shuffle, but no land drop. Huh. I think here I will copy it with the Savannah. Oh, maybe they have Bolt? They must have Bolt if they're double blocking. Okay. Wow, Strix in 2023. Cool to see Grixis. Do appreciate the deck. Next turn at worst, we get to hold up Sword and also Saga. No basics just yet. Sorry, no, wow, no land. Well, they're Brainstorm locked? Okay. You keep your secrets. Ooh. Honestly, here, getting back Saga with Ramunap is pretty nice. Just that value straight away, which I really like. They have a Bolt, that's fine. We already got our value here, so kind of exactly where you want to be against a deck like this, where you can get that sort of 2-for-1 advantage where they're now down a Bolt, but we're up a land, and one that also just creates a bunch of problems, hopefully, for our opponent. This is fine as well because we have the swords to deal with the Plague Engineer. The Plague Engineers will also be 2/2s, which is relevant because of the Shadow Spear. We're just going to play this because we want the extra land drop and then pass back. Now this is interesting. I don't mind actually wastelanding the Underground Sea because we already have 4 mana to play with, which is 1 for swords and then 3 for activation, including the tap. So I don't mind going after their mana here. I could swords now to play around land drop into hardcast Force. I do care about the Plague enough, so. And what are the chances that they have a second? Ooh. No, opposition agents in exile. Yeah, that's all good. They also kept the Strix back. Okay. Now we're happy about this. Now they're spending cards on tokens. All right. So one key decision here is we want to turn this into a forest. So let's go 1, 2, turn this into a forest. And now this will be a forest that always makes a creature, which is fantastic. We'll search for a Mox, which is just dead here. We'll search for a Mox, which is just dead here, that's fine. Play out the Reclaimer. Hey, Mr. Verbal. I did not see the 7-point changes. Ooh, okay. But we will. Point announcement. I assume the ring, and potentially, okay. Mints to 1 to 2, the ring to 1, Seasoned Engineer to 1. Wow, Ragavan to 2, Mana Drain's back up. Oh, Sanctuary's down, okay. Interesting. That changes a lot. That changes a lot for me, especially. Okay. So here we probably just create and equip. I don't mind that. Minsk is very powerful and can win games on its own. A little bit like Oko. I would say Oko being a 3-mana walker that just takes over the game as well is a little bit more of an issue, but... Sorin. Okay. I take a Plague Engineer. That is fine. Okay. Let's attack the Sorin. Don't really want that sticking around. They're going to block with 1. So let's make another token now. Damage. Let's play the land and then equip again. Just to really use the best of our mana. But this forest is busted. 7-point Highlander is very cool. People might know of Canadian Highlander, which is very similar, but Canadian Highlander is 100 cards. I really enjoy it. I usually play Blue Moon or Abzan lands. All right, so let's go create. We'll play the Reclaimer and then equip and then pass back. I do really like the North 100 on YouTube. They do some pretty excellent coverage and have a great panel that also goes over Canadian Highlander as a format. They have a really cool segment called The Best Card You're Not Playing, which I really like, which they bring up cards that people aren't playing or really know about that are just really good in those sort of formats. Big fan. Hey Ben, hope you're doing well. All right, Fable is tough, but not too bad. We also just have the combo online here, so we're actually looking pretty good. Oh, Minsk. And they're at 10. Honestly, I don't mind Minsk and then just hold up Reclaimer. Don't have Hydroblast. Don't you do it. Oh my gosh. Alright. Okay. I want to keep the construct around just because of Sheoldred's Edict. We can put counters on the construct. That's a great pick-up, Panda, because the Shadow Spear gives us trample, which makes it eligible for Minsk and Booze +1. Force is fine, because currently we're just going to be playing around with Reclaimer sacking the Flagstones. Okay. Thankfully also Strix is black and the Flying Vampire is black. They failed to find an island card, but just wanted the shuffle. Okay. Cling to Dust. That is fine as well. I could actually stop them from drawing a card here. Because I could just sack the Flagstones to go and get Bojuka Bog. And then next turn go and get the 2020, which I actually don't mind. Go and get the Dark Depths. We have a Savannah left, which is fantastic. Let's go and get Bojuka Bog. And I guess we bog ourselves here. One, two, copy. I'm okay with just allowing this. Wasteland. Okay, that's pretty nice. One, two. Okay, so 2 to Reclaimer, 2 to activate plus tap, so we have 3 mana left over. So we might as well have 2 mana left over and take them off double black. I guess they have the treasure, so that doesn't really matter, but they might just want to cling here. Sure. No point in attacking. This is the next 7, correct? Okay, good. I'm probably happy just to get the Dark Depths while they're tapped out. Just in case they have another opposition agent. I would assume they don't. Or another, I guess they have another Brazen Borrower potentially. Chosen not to use. Okay. Now in game 1 they did just concede to the combo. Do we actually have another Sejiri Steppe? We do still. Okay. I can see them attacking with everything here. No, just the token. I do want to play around like Jace Bounce as a sorcery speed effect, so I won't make the Dark Depths just now. You never know. Alright. Thankfully, there's also a subtle advantage of Shadow Spear here. It means we can equip the Shadow Spear if it comes to that to give protection through trample, which means we get to keep the Sejiri Steppe in hand from like a bounce spell. I assume they just go for it in our end step while we're tapped out and have no cards in hand, but it is nice to know Shadow Spear is in some ways Sejiri Steppe number 3, because it allows you just to go over blocking creatures. Wow, they're going to cycle. Okay, they're going to counter that ability. That's fair. Yab's pretty good here. So now they do have Snapcaster off the reflections. They want to Snapcaster something here. Nothing too relevant, which is nice. This is fine. All right. What's going to happen? Reflect Snapcaster. That's fine. They're going to go for Colligan's Command. Okay. Wow, couldn't they have Colligan's Command back Nimble to their hand to then cycle it again? Maybe that was the play? 3 mana, and then they have, yeah, the treasures as well to use. What are they going to try to do here? Ah, destroy this. That's going to be fine because we have the effect to go over. Ah, unless they have Sheoldred's Edict here. No? Wasteland isn't that... Oh, they can't because they do have the treasures. Well, I guess we try. Oh, no. Okay. Interesting. Oh, now we might just die to the ulti, right? Yeah, because the ultis, we lose 13 and they just attack with everything. Ah, rough. There's no point attacking because they just block with the Strix. So we have to act like we have something? Tough. Yeah. They can even just bolt me. Tough. Soren gets there. Did not see that coming. Cool match. Very cool. I don't know if anyone else has this issue, but for MTGO right now, whenever I turn my computer off and turn it back on and double click on MTGO to launch, it wants me to reinstall every time. And it reinstalls like a new copy, like Magic the Gathering Online, and then in brackets 1, and in brackets 2. But I'm not sure why. It doesn't usually happen. It's a bug. Have you found a way? Did you have this bug? And if so, did you find a way to fix it? Because I'm not sure how to fix it. I'm not sure if I should install it on a different drive or something like that. Or if it's currently a bug they're just trying to fix and work on. Hey, Baby Dry, thanks for the follow. Hope you're doing well. Wizards wrote an instruction. Okay, cool. I'll have to check it out. Small indie company. Hey, thanks, big one big pin. Too kind. But hey, if you haven't already heard about the Green Sun Summit, you should check it out here. Ah, thank you, one big pin. Too kind. Thank you very much. And thank you for the follow. All right, here we go. This is a pretty good hand. I would say this is a 6 with the Dryad Arbor, but turn 1 Reclaimer, turn 2 Hold Up Reclaimer, or Swords. Gonna get a Windswept Heath off the... Gonna get a Savannah off the Windswept Heath because that opens up the line of Swords Wasteland turn 2 if we want to get aggressive. Opponent mulligans to 6 cards. James Kisu. All right, opponent goes to 6. I'm getting 6 in that turn. Nope. Okay. A little bit scary, let's be honest. But here we just get to hold up Reclaimer and hope that potentially Bojuka Bog is good enough to turn off like a Rider Flame line, or that Swords on Bergie. Yeah, I think we're... okay. This is exactly why the Mindbreak traps are in the sideboard. Another Ruby is quite good. But do they have the mana for it? The tough part here as well is that I kind of want to go for a Flagstones. But I'm not sure what land to drop for that. You're correct. Dryad Arbor will become a 1/1 mountain. Yeah, I think we give up on the Wasteland here. We have the Ramunap anyway to get it back. I also want the green source, so... I don't mind playing the Dryad Arbor here. The only thing that I kind of want to do is play this Plague, the Plateau, to hold up Sword, but then also hold up Flagstone's ability. Sadly, we aren't Mavericks. We can't just Green Suns for Collector Ouphe here. That'd be pretty cool. Yeah. Okay. They hit a mountain. I'm not playing Teague in the 75 because I find Collector Ouphe is quite good against most of the matchups where I want Teague. And in matchups like Control, I don't like turning off Minsk and Green Suns in those specific matchups. But I have seen it. I've seen a lot of players do well with it as well. But I've kind of gone for Mindbreak Trap in the sideboard against some of the faster decks, just to make sure we can get to sort of the turn 3s and 4s of these matchups. Some of the blue decks, especially blue combo, has also moved towards Dress Down somewhere in the 75, so relying all on creatures can be pretty tough as well. They're going to Burning Wish here. I assume they're going to go for a Echo and then have an LED in hand. Oh, Ruby doesn't play Echo or LED? Okay. Well then. Another Rider Flame. I think just because they're casting this, I'm happy to go for Bojuka Bog here. I think this is probably the only thing I can do to somewhat interact. Now they can relay for 8 or relay for 9, I guess. Yeah. Okay. Would love to see a Burgie just because we actually have interaction for that, but we do not. Stage off the top would be a winner. Green Suns. Ramunap and playback Flagstones, which we still have a plains to get, so we can ramp with it, which is nice. But yeah, with the rubies as well, this is going to be pretty tough for us. I'm going to assume we are going to go to 0 this turn. Yeah. I think we can easily concede to that. Okay, what do we like? We like the traps. We like the Deafening Silences. I like the Force of Vigors and the Collector Ouphe. That's probably it. I don't think the Surgicals are great. We can easily take out the Shadow Spear and the Saga. The libraries are a little bit too slow. The endurance doesn't typically matter. The swords I don't mind just because you can have them for Burgie. We do have like Karakas as well though with crop rotation, so I don't mind cutting down on say 2, and then potentially a Minsk or the Safekeeper. Safekeeper typically to keep the Collector Ouphe alive through something like Grape Shot, but that isn't great. I think we're just going to go with this. Yeah, apologies. I brought the endurance in. Really looking for Trap or Deafening Silence. We have Deafening Silence. And the key thing here is that we also have the combo as an actual plan as well. So pretty happy to keep this. We have Flagstones into Deafening Silence, Yavimaya into Hold Up Crop, and then the following turn we have Stage, which will allow us to tap the Flagstones for green mana, Crop Rotate, get a Plateau, get a Dark Depths, which then taps for mana as well, and then we have Dark Depths and Yav to tap for 2 mana, for Stage to copy Dark Depths, and then go from there. Opponent's gone to 5 cards, which is always going to be an uphill battle, especially against a turn 1 Silence. So I don't want to say that this game is locked in the bag, but having a turn 1, like, fantastic combo card, and then just having the combo as well is all you can really ask for in this sort of matchup. Correct. Karakas can target Burgie. Okay. And that's kind of like where Deafening Silence is what it can do. But I think on the draw, we definitely want to look at Mindbreak Trap. Potentially Swords. Sorry, potentially Surgical, but like Ramunap on the draw is a little bit too slow. I don't mind 1. Blast Zone is the answer. That's cool. I really like that sort of innovation. So really looking for Trap on the draw. I would probably still keep a 7 with Deafening Silence, but it would have to be a good hand. It would have to be Deafening Silence plus some sort of way to win the game as well. That's very clear. There's trap. So this is a pretty slow hand, but I am going to keep this. Off the back of trap. Like, as a 6, would I keep this without one night? The answer is yes. So I'm pretty happy to see how this goes. Having the Wasteland as well is really nice for a turn 2, like for a soul land on turn 1. So like a Force of Vigor here would be fantastic as well. Because then that's one extra card we can pitch. Although they have the Ruby in play, this is actually an interesting one. Because by allowing them to have mana, they do then build into Mindbreak Trap. But I think taking them off the Ancient Tomb is just too good here. But that could be a case of we need the land more than them, honestly. Like that does stop us from pretty much a turn 2 night. Hey, Punishing Waterfalls, welcome. Hope you are well. Also, like, this is probably the first time I've actually had trap in against Ruby Storm. I'm not too sure when to go for it. Like, I think we're just allowing all of this. The tough thing is if they run defense grid, then the trap obviously turns off, so... Reforge. Okay. Honestly, they have 2 cards in hand. Maybe this is worth hitting. Oh. I guess we still have Deafening Silence at the top, potentially. Yeah, no choice. That's very true. There's a Burgie. Okay. Yeah, like, we can hope they... Burgie first, which we can Karakas. Yeah, to be fair, they did hit, what, 4 mountains and a Ancient Tomb? Well, they got past In Flames. They play the Ancient Tomb. Huh. That's actually quite a good draw, because now we have Burgie covered and we have the crop for Bog. So I assume here we just want a Bog in response. So let's go and get Savannah. Bog them. Potentially Rite of Flame. Don't want to just start up again. Yeah, Rite of Flame. Okay. Still a lot of good draws. Any land. Well, not any land, but that's a great land. Now the big question is, if we get a turn, do we go after the Ancient Tomb, or do we try to go towards the combo? Depends what we draw as well. If we draw one piece, it's pretty easy. If we just die this turn, it's also quite easy. You may play a card you own from outside the game this turn. They don't have to reveal it. Okay, this is good. They're setting up for the following turn. Rite of Flame, Ancient Tomb. Wow, we get another turn. Green Suns for Collector Ouphe isn't probably as good as I think it is here. But we haven't seen a single Lotus Petal yet. We did see it in the previous games, but not in this game, so we can Wasteland this turn, but the question is, do we want to Ouphe as well? Or do we want to go for Knight, which just sets up lethal the following turn? Collector Ouphe also turns off the other side of Burgi, which is quite good. It's actually a really tough one. Go for the win with a Knight, at double Knight. Could Green Suns for Collector Ouphe. This is actually a case where we would like to have a Gadok Teague. We don't have a Green Sunable Artifact or Enchantment hate piece other than Collector Ouphe. So we can't get rid of the Ruby unless we draw into a Force of Vigor. Which we do still have 3 copies in the deck. So the Horn is discard a card, exile top 2 cards your library this turn, you may play those cards. It is 5 mana, but it's 4 mana with the Ruby out. Also causes them to discard a card, and they only have 3 cards in hand next turn, so I think the line is just play another Knight and go for the win over like next turn. Wasteland. I don't think Ouphe does enough. But yeah, really interesting to find a matchup where Teague is actually a lot better in this position. I think if there's a Teague in the deck, then Green Suns would be a no-brainer. Bonus round as a start is quite good. Okay, they do have Wish. So I assume they can just probably get us with Grape Shot. Fiery Confluence. Oof. It's a lot of mana. Yeah, maybe I should respect the deck a little bit more and keep a hand that has more than just trap, because you definitely have to rely on what you keep in your 7. This isn't a deck that allows you to kind of like brainstorm and ponder into other hate, so yeah, potentially looking for like a hand with like Deafening Silence and Green Suns for Ouphe, or Wasteland and Deafening Silence, Force of Vigor. Yeah. Tough. Hey Mangork, welcome. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, always the case. Pack the sideboard for combo, but then yeah, maybe it was tough. Yeah, I think having the Deafening Silence turn 1 and then having the trap as like backup is pretty pretty key. Probably Sylvan Library isn't too bad in that matchup, because you do hopefully get it down turn 1 through Mox Diamond and then go from there. It can be pretty aggressive with your extra draws as well. This is a fine hand. A little bit weak to something like Chalice on 1, but it has a little bit of everything, which is nice. An extra land would be cool, but again, Savannah into Reclaimer into Swords or Wasteland is pretty sweet. Opponent's gone to 6 cards. Five cards. All right. Marsh Flats. Oof. Reanimator. Alright, let's hope you don't have a way to get back a creature as well, so we can crop into Bojuka Bog. Sometimes that's asking too much. Honestly, if they don't and they hit us with discard and take crop, I think Wasteland's just a play. They put a Grizzle into the graveyard. A pedal. Oh, lucky. Lucky. It's a little bit awkward that we will lose our only green or white card. Land, sorry, but I think that's okay. Okay. How do they do it? Okay, they do it correctly. Honestly, we care about the Grizzle. So let's just go for Forest here and Crop in response. This also turns off the looting, which is nice. And look, if they get back the grief, they get back the grief. But we still have one sword. They can take a sword, get it back, take a sword, but then we still have a sword to deal with it. So I think we're in an okay spot here. Oh, they took the Reclaimer. Okay. Do they get back the grief? No. Huh. Happy to go after the Badlands and then play the Shadow Spear. One card left for them. I'm going to assume it's a fatty. Looting you would have cast, Thoughtseize or something you would have cast. Could be, I guess, Unmask potentially. Ooh. Nice. I don't want to use this crop rotation at the end step. I want to keep it just in case we draw into one piece of the combo, because then we just have crop for the other thanks to Yavimaya and combo off from there. Okay, well that actually makes me want to use it now. I think... yeah, I think I want to get the knight down. I think also in this case, I'm just going to get the Karakas now as the white source. If that makes sense. Play the Yav. And then play the knight out. Alright, probably starting with a looting. Cool. Archon isn't too bad. Probably a Traxxer isn't too bad. Grizzle's not the worst. Like, we have the removal for it. They're also effectively, with Shadow Spear, at a low count, so... okay. Reclaimer's nice. And then I'm just going to swords this right now. They have 2 cards left. Rough. I don't know if we have an out to this. Because the only out is the one other swords. Tough. Yeah. Okay. Endurance, surgicals, and I like the Deafening Silence and traps. A lot of the kind of like grindy stuff can easily be gone. It's a pretty easy fix. Could think about show and tell, but until we see like a blue land, I don't really worry about it. I actually don't mind one library. Actually, I don't mind one force, just because of Animate Dead. And if they do play Serenity. It's really nice that you can force Animate Dead before the creature comes into play. I think this is a pretty big trap hand. Like it has all the hate you want, but it doesn't have a green source. Yeah, this is obviously even worse. Okay, this is actually pretty good. In all honesty, I could see keeping these 5 because it gives me hate in surgical and also crop, but then it also just has the combo if I want it. So I like this. 2 pieces of hate, and then we have 2 pieces of the combo. Yavimaya, half the combo, and then obviously the Windswept Heath or the Yav can turn into stage, hopefully. I don't mind. I think that this matchup is definitely a card quality matchup where you want to keep you can mulligan aggressively towards that quality. No turn 1 play. Okay. We can't crop in response. We have to make sure they have 2 pieces of interaction. Seeing the depths, and if they know about the crop rotation with Yavimaya play, then it might also force them to go for it, just so we have to crop for Bog instead of being able to get Thespian stage. And honestly, it was probably a misplay to play the Yavimaya. Maybe not. I was going to say, because if we... Sorry, what did I play first? The Heath. Yeah, I should have played the Yavimaya first, and then just play the Depths turn 2, because now if we draw into stage, we could just put it onto the table. They don't know about this card, which is good for us. Or do they? Surgical. No, they do. Yeah, because we just drew the knight. Oh, we drew the Yav. Yes, thank you. Wow, they're gonna pass? I did not see that coming. Now we have the combo, we have Bojuka Bog open, we have Surgical open. They go get a blue source, which is interesting. But they do nothing here. Which kind of makes me want to Wasteland them on the Underground Sea, just to turn them off show and tell. And then we still have the combo live. But if they play a fetch and fetch straight away, I'm just going to go after the Underground Sea with Surgical. I'm having a pretty big think. Which is a great time to shout out the Green Sun Summit, which is happening next weekend, which will be a 7 co-stream series over the weekend, starting on Friday night. An unmask. I guess in that case, I should just see what they have. Entomb, Reanimate, Unmask, Grizzlebrand. Okay. So they can Thoughtseize themselves, put Grizzlebrand into the bin. Oh, sorry, Unmask themselves and then Reanimate it. So they did bring in Show and Tell. They have 3 Archon, 1 Atraxa, 1 Grizzlebrand left, 4 Grief. Interesting. So they didn't go for any sort of like non-graveyard kind of way about things. So they check our hand, they then unmask themselves. I also shouldn't 6 because I want to go for the combo at the end step. But yeah, Pleasant Kenobi, Thraben Yu, XJ Cloud, It's Julian, Michael Mapson, Mark Strassman, Eli Goings are the 7 players. So they get to look at 14 here. No, they get to look at 7. Okay. Oh, maybe they don't know about... Surely they know about Sejiri Steppe. Okay, maybe they're watching their channel. You're welcome. Has to be like Ritual into Archon to get rid of the Knight, to be able to get rid of the ability to... Archon's actually great, because it means we can't get a blocker. And it also makes us sacrifice the token. We also now have the land in play to give protection, which is great. I guess we also just have Karakas, right? Yeah. Nice. Pretty happy just to sideboard the same way. We obviously know about Show and Tell, but I don't think that's worth bringing in the Blast for, just for those. Too many games, it would be pretty tough to have those in hand the whole game and not see a Show and Tell. Yeah, this hand is a pretty easy mulligan, no interaction. Trap here and double crop. I'm going to keep this and bottom the Knight, because double crop also just gives us the combo. Oh, they're just going to our turn? Okay. We drew the bog. Oh, no. That means we just want to probably Flagstones. I guess we could forest... No. I was going to say we can forest to hold up crop for Karakas. I think we actually do that. I was going to play the Flagstones for a white source for swords, but crop for, say, Karakas or crop for Savannah just gives us a white source anyway, so we might as well go forest pass. Why did they pass? Surely they're not just trying to like go to discard. Oh my god, are they? Oh my gosh, they're just gonna go to discard. And we're actually gonna get it rewarded for the sorcery speed Bojuka Bog! Oh my gosh. Can we win next turn? I think we can. If we Green Suns for Dryad Arbor here, we then have open 1, 2, 3, 4 mana, which is 2 for crop and then 2 for the combo, which I kind of like. I could also hold up sword. Maybe that's better, holding up the crop. Yeah. Also holding up Karakas. Oh wow, they're just not hitting land drops. Wait, they kept a no-lander? Oh, they're just trying to do it all over again. I guess we just pass back. We could Green Suns for Collector Ouphe if they want to try to Lotus Petal. I feel like they have rituals, so I think here we just want to pass. Please don't play a petal. Just don't play a petal. Okay, that's fine. Ooh. Okay. Let's go and get rid of a Green Suns. Because if they have something here, we can trap it, which is kind of nice. Yes. We'll go and get stage. And then untap with the combo up. Okay. I think I'd rather just pass with the combo open than play the knight and try to like get another. It just gives the opponent another turn. They have Grizzle here. It's a little bit rough, seeing they're at 27. I've already used the Bog. Oh. Discard Lotus Petal and Entomb. Now they go for Thoughtseize. Alright. Crop away the Bog because we can Endurance it back into our deck to then find later on. At least here we get to put them down to 7. They probably should take the Knight because the Green Suns can go and get Dryad Arbor, which saves the 2020 from Archon. To play the Knight, we need to draw a land off the top. Okay. Pretty good. That's our safety against a sacrifice effect. And also gives us protection next turn through just Sejiri Steppe from something like a Grizzlebrand or an Atraxa. Entomb has to be for Archon. Oh, it could be for Sarah Emissary. Sarah. Yeah, Sarah's Emissary. Ah. Okay. You and creatures you control have protection from the chosen type. Okay, so we have to find Swords of Plowshares now. I honestly don't mind just Green Suns. I wouldn't necessarily say it's all about luck, but I would say that luck is part of the game, especially with variance being part of the game. Oh, that's a 2-turn clock. All right, we're gonna need something here. Damn. There is no Maids of Ith, no. Tough. Rough. Brutal. Well, maybe we can win these last two and go from there. But hey, a decent mix of decks. Grixis Delver, Ruby Storm, Reanimator. Maybe something a little bit fairer again in these last two would be kind of cool. Something like a Jeskai Control or another Maverick or Depths deck. Tough. What's the reason for 0 copies of Maze? I just don't usually find a need for it. Obviously there's corner cases like that, but these days with cards like Uro or Archon, which gain an advantage just from attacking, it can be tough to find the space. Also, just with this version playing Urza's Saga, you don't want to run too many colorless sources, especially those that don't tap for mana either. Mace is pretty good against Troll. Most Troll decks, especially the blue-black decks, are running Wasteland. Same with something like a Grixis Delver deck, usually running Wasteland. So there are times where you can get a little bit lucky and hold off a Murktide or a big creature for a while, but a lot of the decks that run creatures typically that I care about also run that. Yikes. Okay. This is a Mox start with Depths. So potentially we keep this, bottom the Spear, and Dryad Arbor, and then we just go for a turn 2 combo? Yeah. That's kind of cool. Mox, pitch, Windswept Heath, play stage, Green Suns for Dryad Arbor. Dryad Arbor is really nice because it is acceleration through Green Suns, and you do really want to have that acceleration as kind of your unfair part of the deck. Dryad Arbor also quite nice with people moving away from Sudden Edict for Sheoldred's Edict. That's fair, but I don't think that like Orcish Bowmaster is a reason not to play Dryad Arbor. I think the upside is just so huge. Just because they could be a Wasteland deck, I'm happy to do this in upkeep. Nice. Scalding Tarn. The only cards I'm going to bring in are the Blasts. And probably just trim. Karakas. Crop. Library. Really nice hand. Blast, acceleration. A lot of nice things about this hand. Especially the second stage as well to drop to the Mox. Hey Saito Sand, welcome. Hope you're well. Play the land first, and then Mox. Pitch the Dryad. I'm then just gonna pass. Pretty happy to run the Green Suns into Reclaimer while also holding up Pyroblast. And also, if this is a Delver deck, being able to play Reclaimer as a 3/4 is pretty key. Two basics. Interesting. Ah, is this Rhinos? This must be Rhinos. Okay. Yeah. Fire Ice, Brazen Burrower. Nice. This is a little bit tougher. I don't really want to run the Night Out, especially into a Fury. So I could see just holding up Reclaimer, or even double Reclaimer that also runs into Fury. I guess there's a huge upside to getting the Knight in play, especially if I untap with it. I also, if I get a chance, I don't want to block the Shardless Agent just because it runs Knight into Fire. See, I would attack with all. I think there's not really a downside of not attacking with the Shardless Agent. It's not going to be doing a whole lot either way. But now we're in a pretty nice position because we get to hold up the combo with Pyroblast for a bounce spell. But now they might just have too many. Yeah. Especially with Trample. Tough. Yeah. At least now we know what we're up against. I don't mind the Deafening Silences just because of Violent Outburst into Rhino. We do just want to try to combo faster than them, so there are some easy cuts. Shadow Spear is not the worst, but Saga is not really where I want to be. Crop's pretty good. Again, just going towards that plan. They're probably bringing in Blood Moon, so I don't mind like 2 Force of Vigors. I think that's pretty good. But a tough one. Could you explain to me the difference of Abzan Depths not playing Urza Saga like in Naya Depths? I would say with those sort of lands like Saga or Maze, it's still pretty customizable based on what you want to play yourself. This is a great hand. This is Deafening Silence into the combo, which is really nice. So there's a lot of different things you can do, which is nice. And it really comes down to like, what do you expect to see from the metagame? But Dan Neely's been playing Saga in his version for a fair while and really enjoying it. And I just wanted to see, because I do think Shadow Spear does give you a few advantages. Crashing, okay. Could Wasteland there, but I really like just moving towards the Plane of Dark Depths. Okay. They have 3 cards left. Nice. Crashing. The only things that saves them here is Submerge. So I might as well use 2 mana and then crop rotate away the Yavimaya before they can use Submerge to get a Plains. Yeah, and then use that to combo. So we're on the board. We are on the board, which is nice. But yeah, I don't mind Saga. It does obviously give you another win condition. It does allow you to have a threat that doesn't rely on the graveyard either, like Knight of the Reliquary or Elvish Reclaimer, so it keeps growing. In the control matchups, it's very good. Obviously, Minsk is good as well, but potentially because Abzan misses out on Minsk, you could run the Saga as a way just to generate ongoing disruption, which is really nice if you want to make your opponent start trading cards with tokens. We went down to Grixis Control, Ruby Storm, and Reanimator. And got up against Rhinos. Which honestly, Rhinos I find a little bit tough. Very quick, and a lot of their disruption is very good. Bounce effects, Fury typically takes out your creatures because you need to get them down early on to get them online. Endurance wipes the graveyard if you need that as well. Funnily enough, if anything, mana's been off tonight with the deck. This is a tough one as well because there's no real game plan. Like, it has mana, has like half the combo removal, but I think it's a better 5. Oh my gosh, this is not it. Yeah, see, again, like the Dryad with the Flagstones. Okay. Put 4 cards on the bottom. Honestly, it might just be Reclaimer and 2 lands. Okay. I think it's just Reclaimer. I could Green Suns for Dryad Arbor, which turns on a lot of 3-drops. Also double spell next turn potentially. Also if we're up against like oh, Karakas? Okay. Well, that means Green Sun's going to go for Safekeeper. I'm going to assume this is like a Stoneblade list. But we'll see. Having the swords for Stoneforge is quite nice here, especially if they get Kaldra. Nothing. I don't think Cephalid Breakfast usually plays Karakas, so... Wow, this deck... Their deck missing a land drop is pretty huge, and also being stuck with like a Brainstorm lock. Okay. Again, I don't mind Reclaimer. I'm not in a position to throw away the resources to Safekeeper. So, if they want to trade another swords here, that's fine. It's one less for a 2020, which is kind of nice. Although they do have the Karakas in play. Okay. Another sword isn't great. Really want a proactive spell, not a reactive. And this deck doesn't look like it's going to be one that's going to be playing too many creatures. Okay, that's actually pretty nice. It could be a Snapcaster list. They're far away from Mystic Sanctuary. We'll see if this resolves first. Like, I don't really want to put swords back, but... I think I'm actually happy just to get the Green Suns back. And if they are an old school version with Snapcaster, then they're a version with Snapcaster. Oh my gosh. Could also be like a Wandering Emperor list. No, okay. It's just like hardcast Batterskull? Humility. Alright. Funnily enough, we don't have a way out of this game one. Also tapped incorrectly, should have played the swords, but hopefully it doesn't matter. Yeah, I wonder if there's some sort of combo they have with Humility. Could also just be a player that doesn't like playing against Orcish Bowmasters. Which isn't the greatest way to beat it, but... I think you were 2 swords in the bin. We're happy just to try to get Dryad Arbor here and take out the Jace. Oh my gosh, it's gonna kill the Jace. I did not expect that to occur, but here we are. Look, we are running ourselves into something like a Supreme Verdict or a Terminus, but... What does our opponent got? They got 5 cards in hand. Minsk would be cool. Wasteland does turn off the Karakas. No float. All right. Do they tick up the Jace? They tick up the Jace. That is true, but Minsk will be able to throw, which also does nothing. So Giz, yeah, you're very correct. Yeah. Minsk actually isn't the greatest. I think we still want to attack the Jace here. Minsk can draw a card, that's true. A little bit awkward as well, just because we do have Force of Vigor in the board, but this is typically a matchup where I was going to say I like having Atlan Liberator as an out and just like a Green Sun Saga to put in the deck instead of putting in a card that like Force of Vigor, but of course Humility can't be hit by creatures, so I wonder if this is like an Energy Field style deck. I guess Minsk allows us to deal with the Jace potentially, because we get to throw a creature. Ah, the old helm. Tough. Alright. We like the blasts. I don't mind the endurance as a flash creature and the Force of Vigors. Maybe not all, but I do like some. Swords can most likely come out. Karakas. I don't mind dropping down on a crop. The Ramunap, especially seeing main deck. Also probably a knight. I think that's pretty good. Hey Jerry Freeman, welcome. Hope you're well. Hope you're having your coffee. Yeah, I think Ouphe is a little bit too weak just because it only hits Helm, and they also have so much removal that I don't want to rely just on that, which is tough. Just poured your first cup, very nice. Glad to hear it. All right, Tome on Library. Not a Tome on Library, a pretty slow hand as well. Like, it has a Minsk, but it doesn't really have a whole lot going for it, so gonna mull for a hand with a Tome on Library. Nice. We're gonna bottom the Plains here. And then just go Windswept, cast Mox. I'm gonna pitch the Depths just because if they counter the Library, I want to make sure I definitely have the third land for Night. Mox really good here with the Library just because it allows us to get it down, not in this case, but usually before Prismatic Ending comes online, Narset, Orcish Bowmasters, things like that. Wow, okay. Main phase Brainstorm. Did not expect the old main phase Brainstorm. Okay. Pretty happy just to hold up endurance here. I also kind of want that library back, so I'm going to target myself here potentially, yeah. In a matchup where we don't have Lightning Bolt to worry about, I don't really worry about not having lands in the bin. Okay. I'm also going to hold the Flagstones at the moment. We're only drawing a card a turn, so I might as well hold this as an unknown card. Yeah, honestly, I think I could start taking off counters. I also need to find an answer for the Karakas. Alright, Dryad Arbor. At least Dryad Arbor means if they play a Teferi and tick down, we can kill it. So I assume that stops them from ticking it down most likely. Tough. Really hope they just don't have the rip. Yikes. Yep. Tough. Wow, a 1/4. It's been a while since the old 1/4. Deck was good. Like, variance was obviously a thing this league, but I think overall I was pretty happy with the 75. There were a few times we wanted something like an Outland Liberator, but I do really like the extra Force of Vigor because you have a lot of turn 0 play against decks like lands, which is seeing a lot of play at the moment. And obviously decks like that. Maybe if I knew that was so, like, they were pretty all in on that combo that I probably should have brought in the extra Force, but sometimes it's rough when you do draw it and they're on, say, like a Stoneforge list with Kaldra or something else. So, yeah, definitely a good one to learn from. I think if anything, I kind of missed like having an extra library or an extra Minsk. And Saga did do some work, which is nice, especially against the Grixis opponent. And Shadow Spear seems just like a nice all-in card to have in the deck. Works well with a lot of things, and also like a subtle thing is that it obviously allows you to put counters on the equipped creature with Minsk and Boo, thanks to it having trample. Also deals with things like Kaldra, which is great, or potentially even a blocking Marit Lage. You can make it no longer be indestructible and actually trade off their Lage, or destroy their Lage, which is cool. But yeah, a tough one, but Yeah, can't do much about it. A big thank you to you who came in and subscribed. The new subscribers, the new followers. I'm going to be back on Friday night with Vince, aka Pleasant Kenobi, for the start of the Green Suns Summit, which obviously you can find here. You can also find me on YouTube here and Twitter. I'm going to see who else is streaming. I feel like the European Legacy Masters is on right now, so I will definitely send you over there. Give them a lot of love. We currently have Scam vs Storm, which is pretty cool. But yeah, not the league we wanted, but happy to be back on Naya. Really want to put a lot more time into Naya, especially while Abzan's getting a lot of love. It's nice to kind of come back to Minsk and Boo and see how it rolls in league. So until then, we'll see you next time.